Hey everybody, thank you so much for being here. I am just next level excited about this video. I haven't done a dupe type video in a while, but this is going to be a little bit different. I don't think I've ever done anything quite like this, and the video idea comes to you from a fellow viewer. It's Olivia on Instagram. She said, are there situations where maybe there are drugstore products that are really similar to a high-end thing but actually perform better? So like a dupe situation, but the drugstore product wins. And I had an obvious answer on the tip of my tongue for a situation where this is happening, and it's the Volumina/Paradise versus Too Faced Better Than Sex. This is like dupes for rookies here. They're basically the same color packaging. It's kind of like L'Oreal was shouting at the world, hey y'all, we're gonna dupe Too Faced right now, check it out. The brush looks the same. It performs very similarly on the eyes, only I feel like the Lash Paradise actually builds on itself quicker and holds the curl better. I'm wearing Lash Paradise on this eye. I'm wearing Too Faced Better Than Sex on this eye. I mean, it's one of those situations where they just appear to be so close, but drugstore wins. So that's the obvious one here. And then I started looking around and I thought, where are there other situations where this is happening in my collection? Let me tell you, throughout this video, it's going to be less obvious comparisons, but situations where it's a similar type of product. It's the kind of thing where if you're in the market for, let's say, a BB cream and you're looking at this one, I think I've found you something that's not only a better value, but also a better performing product. If you like this kind of video and would like to see more of it, definitely give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm gonna start off talking about a BB cream that I most recently spent way too much on. $46 for this Bobbi Brown BB cream. It does have SPF 35. I have it in the shade Natural here, and it's not a product where I'm looking at it and saying, oh, this is just awful, like it's unusable or it has some glaring flaw about it. I would say for me, I look at this and think $46 for something that's merely just a slightly tinted moisturizer that is providing very little coverage to my skin. For that price tag, you want it to be doing something special. You want to be able to get on YouTube and be like, yeah, I spent that money, but it's doing something really fantastic and something I've never seen happen before. That's what I'd like to be able to say, but it's just not going there for me. So I go back to Old Faithful Drugstore BB cream, my Rimmel BB, which the packaging looks a little bit different, but it's still the one with the blue cap. And I love this. This is my favorite drugstore BB cream. And it's not going to compare to like the IT Cosmetics BB in the sense that it's that much coverage. It's less coverage than that, but yet it's more coverage than the Bobbi Brown. This is going to give you SPF 15, so not quite as much sunscreen. And of course, the shade range is not going to be as great as Bobbi Brown has. But if you can hone in on a shade here that works for you, and keep in mind, because it's a lighter coverage product, there's a little more wiggle room with shades, I think. But I've got this in light medium. I'm wearing it today, and I've been wearing it the past few days, and I was totally reminded of how much I enjoy this, and was so surprised that for such a low price tag, we're talking $6.49 at Target compared to $46 for the Bobbi Brown. You just can't argue with it, assuming you can find a shade that works for you. So I felt the need definitely to throw that out there in this video because I was just underwhelmed by the Bobbi Brown, and for almost 50 bucks for a little tube of BB cream. Next up, we're going to talk concealers. This Infallible Pro Glow Concealer from L'Oreal. I think this is really something special, especially this time of year when you might be going for a lighter weight look all over the skin and you want the concealer to kind of follow suit with that, right? I've seen so many times where I've done a barely there like BB cream all over the skin, and then I opted to do really thick under eye stuff, and guess what? By about 4 in the afternoon, you look at yourself and all you can see is that long wear full coverage under eye, and everything else is just kind of like drifted away. I'm not saying this is a no coverage product. This is definitely like a strong medium coverage concealer, but it looks so natural on the skin that it fits in really, really well with your natural overall super skin-like makeup looks. So I've got this in the shade Classic Ivory. I was going through and looking at different products in my collection and seeing what really compares texture-wise. What in terms of a high-end product has a really similar feel. And I felt like this Urban Decay Naked Skin in light was very similar. These two shades are like dead on for each other. I've got the Urban Decay on this eye, I've got the L'Oreal under this eye, and actually various spots elsewhere on each side of my face. So the shade of these is similar. I think the coverage on these is similar, but I really don't agree so much with Urban Decay's claims on this. They call it a weightless complete coverage concealer. Neither of these are like your fullest coverage concealer. And this is not weightless. Like, I think this looked so much heavier on my skin. I mean, you apply them side by side, I can look up close at this and it just looks like skin that's been evened out a little bit. And this one, I could totally see the product. I know there's a following for this concealer, and I'm not trying to like pick a fight here with you on it. I'm just here to tell you this one from the drugstore for $8.99 did everything this $29 concealer could do, and it looked more natural on my skin. Here's another great find that I've had recently. It's the Milani Prep Set and Glow Illuminating Transparent Powder. This is just gonna come in one shade. It's like a little veil of translucent powder that you can put all over your skin, but you just get the tiniest bit of glow off of it that's doing something special, giving your skin just that little bit of oomph, and you can actually apply it in a more concentrated way, almost like a highlight, like on top of the cheeks, and you just get the most perfect teeniest glow. This is for the people who don't want to show off lines on their skin. They don't want to show off pores, but yet you still want that kind of glowing, healthy look. This is perfect. And I also recently tried this Bye Bye Pores Illumination from IT Cosmetics. This was part of a Today's Special Value, and I can't even find where this is being sold yet on its own. Like, it hasn't even been released that way. But just the regular Bye Bye Pores powder, not the Illumination version, but the Bye Bye Pores pressed regular is going to cost $29. $29 versus $10. And here's the flaw with this product. I feel like this is too white. It actually looks too chalky on the skin. I mean, I felt like I was hearing people rave about this in the Today's Special Value when this came out, and maybe it really is working well for some people, but this is much more apparent on the skin. And I don't get how they're throwing this in under the Bye Bye Pores name, because to me, this shows up really just chalky and kind of obvious. This is that sophisticated, undetectable hint of glow, very similar to the effect from like an hourglass type setting powder. You want the Milani. This is definitely outperforming the high end. Okay, let's talk ridiculous price tags for a second, shall we? This Marc Jacobs Tantastic Omega Bronze Coconut Perfect Tan limited edition bronzer in the perfect little white compact here that everybody loves. Yes, it's a giant bronzer, but $49, really? And you can't even find this anymore on Sephora's website. I looked it up. Apparently it's out of stock. I know people are loving this bronzer, but I don't find this to really be unique. Is it good? Sure. But is it unique? Not really. Because good old e.l.f. has this $6 bronzer compact, and this shade right up here is basically this shade. I've got the Marc Jacobs on this side of my face. I've got the e.l.f. bronzing this side of the face. They're both, you know, not too over-the-top bronzers. They're pretty, and I get the appeal because this kind of shade suits so many people. It's not too warm, it's not too gray, it's definitely pigmented, it looks nice on the skin. I'm not really criticizing this product, but I found something that not only gives you that, but it gives you a more shimmery shade, a couple of other tones to play with here. And if you didn't really know about this and the thought of a bronzer palette appeals to you, if you're even deeper complected, e.l.f. has a great deep version of this bronzer compact also. So 4 shades, $6. This $49 bronzer, I'm sorry, but you're paying for a name and you're paying for packaging, and here this is just as good. Here's another thing that I love, this little Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Highlighter. This is kind of like an eye multitasker because it can be that under the brow, you know, perfect the look of the brow type thing. You can put it around your inner corner, you can use it as a shadow stick all over your lid. Really, the thing that drew me into this product was how nice it is when you put it on your lower inner rim, because it transfers on there so well. And it's just this nice light brightening shade. It doesn't have shimmer. See how it's just got a little bit of maybe a hint of peachy pink tone? Will benefit highbrow. That would be the high-end equivalent to this thing. It's just the same in tone as the Wet n Wild, but the Wet n Wild is so much creamier. Like, I think it's brutally obvious how much creamier this product is. And it's not like either one is hard to use. Highbrow is not a dud product. I've got it on in those various spots that I mentioned all over this side, but I've got the Wet n Wild over here. They look the same. It's just like the Wet n Wild is creamier. It feels just richer to the touch. Highbrow definitely completely feels more dry to me. So I would say Wet n Wild wins that round. And then I've got a lip product to share. Here's a high-end lip product that I really did not enjoy that much. This Melted Latex from Too Faced. Now they've got some gorgeous shades and these are a super, super shiny lip product. My problem with them is that they are thick and they really do feel pretty sticky. Like if you got a shade you absolutely love, maybe you're gonna get past the sticky, right? And you're gonna say, okay, I can deal with that. But here with the drugstore alternative to this, I'm not necessarily talking about shade for shade dupes going on. Although if I really start scrutinizing the collection, I'd probably find some. But what I'm more so talking about is a formula that's just as opaque and just as shiny, but it's not as sticky. And I'm talking about the L'Oreal Infallible Paints. I really like these. This shade, by the way, that I've been referencing here, this is Peekaboo from Too Faced. And then I've got Spicy Blush, which I'm wearing Spicy Blush on my lips right now from L'Oreal. Like I said, I'm not calling this a shade for shade dupe because the L'Oreal is a bit deeper. I actually much prefer to wear this color from L'Oreal on my lips over this one because this comes off a lot lighter and just more peach all over the lips. This color seems super wearable, the Spicy Blush. Love it. I swatched them side by side to show you that neither one is at all sheer and they're both super duper shiny. We're talking about a similar effect on the lips. One's just gonna feel really thick and uncomfortable. One's going to feel just perfectly smooth. So isn't it fun when drugstore wins? I mean, these are definitely situations where I think it's so obvious that the drugstore product is really coming out on top. You're paying, in some cases, just embarrassingly less amount of money for the drugstore product. Like the Marc Jacobs bronzer, almost 50 bucks compared to a $6 e.l.f. bronzer. It's nuts. Sometimes we are paying for names, we're paying for packaging, we're paying for the advertising that these brands are putting out, and the better product sometimes can really be right under your nose at the drugstore. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you again to Olivia for specifically requesting this kind of video, and let me know if you'd like to see more of it. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.